How's it going, everybody? House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 2. We'll go over the episode with some broad strokes first, and then we'll come back to look at more specifics. But essentially, this episode was the aftermath of the last episode. And the last episode was the aftermath of the last episode of Season 1. It's like direct, everything is just like leading up to everything else. And so this episode, we're getting another funeral. Aegon's son, the little boy, man, got his head cut off. Last episode, I was wondering, like, those two guys were on the bed chopping away at that little boy. And I'm like, what's going on? What are they doing? Like, you can kill the kid in a clean slice. But yeah, they were literally sawing the kid. Yo. And they had a funeral procession in this episode. They sewed the head back on and paraded the kid through the streets. There was a part where like the cart got stuck in a little ditch and they're pushing the cart and you're seeing the baby move. The mom is freaking out in the back. A part of me thought that head was going to fall off. And if that had happened, dude, that's insane, man. Like, imagine it's a little kid. But that didn't happen. So, let me take it back a couple steps. So, the aftermath of the boy's death, right? So, obviously, Aegon is upset. Obviously, the whole family is upset, right? Team Green is angry. And they're looking out for someone to blame. And here's where Otto Hightower, man, he's smart, right? So, he's trying to take this horrible situation and turn it for a positive. He's trying to use this moment of sorrow to their advantage and spin it on Rhaenyra Targaryen because people are realizing that Aegon is a weak king. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what it means to be king, and people can sense that. People realize that he's weak. Rhaenyra is the rightful heir to the throne. Get her back here and get Aegon out of here. So Otto, what he does, without knowing who killed the son, he blames it on Rhaenyra Targaryen. Look at what Rhaenyra did. She's a kingslayer. She killed this little boy. She's a horrible person. And that's why they paraded Alicent and the mom and the little boy's body through the town to get the town's sympathy. And you know what this dude Aegon did? Oh my gosh. Aegon threw all that away. He threw all that away. They got the town's sympathy. They got the town on their side. And Aegon went and they found one of the guys who killed the little boy. And he outed a rat catcher. So what Aegon did is he went and killed every single rat catcher that worked at the palace. Like, dude, he killed innocent people and then hung them out in public. So completely ruining the image that they built from the funeral procession. He's not thinking. He said he's a man of action. Otto Hightower is not doing anything. Aegon, he's a young, I want to take action. I got to do things. So he kicks Otto Hightower and he brings in Criston Cole because Criston Cole took action and was like, hey, we got to kill Rhaenyra. I'm going to send one of these guys, one of these twins, Eric, to go kill his brother Eric. It's spelled differently. One was an A, one's with an A and one's with the E. And dude, Criston Cole is my least favorite character in this show. So far. He's not interesting. He doesn't do anything cool. He projects his he projects his ill feelings towards himself on other people. Right? He's like, hey, your cape is dirty. Don't you know what that signifies? Don't you know, like, you got to be pure and righteous. This is your role. While he's off doing things he knows he shouldn't be doing. He slept with Rhaenyra, now he's sleeping with Alicent. He's self-centered. He doesn't care about the people around him. And how much you want to bet? I don't really remember how it went down last season. But from what I remember, Rhaenyra didn't choose Criston Cole. So, I bet you this dude is being so petty to the point that that's why he sends this guy. At least that's one of the reasons why he sends this guy to go and off Rhaenyra, because Rhaenyra didn't choose him. And also Alicent, she went to Otto. I want to confess, I'm sinning. And then she goes off and does it again. I mean, it would be hypocritical of me to say that. I mean, I make mistakes, I sin, and then I commit the same sin again and again and again. I mean, we're human. We fall, we mess up. That's that's the nature of things. So I don't hold that against her too much. But Kristen Cole, it's the attitude about him. That self-righteous attitude. Like, he got up in this guy's face because his cape is dirty and threatens him to go and kill Rhaenyra. He threatens him. And so, that's the sad thing about this episode, man. I have a brother, and I can't imagine doing this. It's insane. He pretends to be his brother, okay? And he's walking to the keep where Rhaenyra resides. Rhaenyra and all her people reside, right? Team Black. But the thing is, Eric with an E is already inside. So he gets found out, right? So Eric is so the twin that's coming in, Eric with the A, he goes in and essentially he's trying to swap places with his brother, be the guard for Rhaenyra, and then at night go in and try and kill Rhaenyra, right? So he goes in, he tries to kill Rhaenyra, and then his brother comes in to stop. And they end up in this battle to the death. Dude, if that was me and my brother, I'd be like, frick this. Who cares about my loyalty to some king? I'm not fighting you. I'm not doing anything like this. What? I'd rather just die then. I mean, like, I'd rather them, okay, yeah, come kill me. No. What? But they fight to the death. He kills his, Rhaenyra's Eric with the E, kills his brother, Eric with the A, Eric, and then he can't live with himself, and he kills himself. So it's that much loyalty to the throne, like, they're willing to put their life on the line, and not just put their life on the line. They're willing to put the life of their family members on the line. And not just on the line, literally cross the line, kill them. He killed his brother and then killed himself because he couldn't bear the fact that he just killed his brother. All because of his allegiance to Rhaenyra. And honestly, no, it's not because of his allegiance to Rhaenyra. This wouldn't have happened if that loser, Kristen Cole, didn't threaten this guy. Literally, he's literally just pushing his, like, dude. What right do you have, man? What kind of self-righteous? I don't like Kristen Cole, dude. I don't like Kristen Cole. Okay, but now we get the general idea of what this episode was about. Let's go back and let's look at some little details here and there. So Rhaenyra finds out that Team Green is blaming her for the death of Aegon's son. And she's offended by this because she just lost her son. So she's like, why would I want to put her, this innocent mother, through the same pain that I know, that I felt? Why would I do that? I would not do that. So who did it? And so she finds out that Daemon did it. And they end up in a fight. And it ends up to the conclusion. The conclusion is she can't trust Daemon. Daemon is a wild card, and so Daemon gets mad and runs off. But during that fight, it's brought to our attention again the age difference between Daemon and Rhaenyra. When I was a child, you were like, you were saying this, you were doing this. Dude, this is her uncle, right? They're having a marital fight, but that's her uncle. Like, so it's this weird dynamic. Like, how does he handle this dynamic? Like, you're talking, you're you're talking to Rhaenyra. You're talking to this girl. That's your niece. She's a little girl to you, but you're serving her because she's your queen. And then you're also talking to her as your equal because she's your wife. So how do you handle that situation, man? How do you grapple with that? You don't. You get on your dragon and you fly off. That's what you do, and that's what he did. But before Daemon ran off, they made this cool similarity with Daemon and Aemond, because they're one and the same. They're both sides of the same coin. Rhaenyra says, "You struck down a child," and Daemon says, "It was a mistake." And that's exactly what Aemond did. Aemond struck down a child, but it was a mistake. So you're seeing this similarity between Aemond and Daemon, and not only that, they got the same name, just put the D at the end, you know. But speaking about Aemond, Aemond's my favorite character, and it's kind of sucky that we're not seeing as much of him. We're seeing a little bit of him, but it's not as cool as the stuff we saw in last season, like at the dinner table, or you know things like that, man. And I want to hear him go for absolutely no reason in mid sentence. I missed that. But Aemond, he's at this brothel with this lady, and you see him in this vulnerable state. It's weird to see him in a vulnerable state, right? Because he's not the type of character I would expect to see in a state like that. He doesn't really wear his emotions on his sleeve, but he does here. And he's acting like a child. He curls up in the fetal position and lays on this lady's lap like a kid. And it's weird seeing him like that. Like this hardcore cool guy like that. But it makes sense. He was bullied as a child. He didn't have a proper childhood. So now he just wants to, now at this age, he wants a place where he can be vulnerable, where he doesn't have to put forth this image. And he kind of regresses back into this vulnerable, childlike state because he wants to feel safe. And that got me thinking, like, who's this lady to him? You know, like he's the lady probably doesn't care about him, but he is building this relationship, this level of trust with her. So what happens when she like rotates out of the brothel to some other brothel? What is he gonna do? You know, that's gonna suck. But yeah, it was interesting to see him in a light like that. So at the end of the episode, it shows Aegon crying, and that's significant because he's like this tyrant kind of untethered kind of guy. Not like Joffrey or anything like that, but he is a bit untethered. Like he wants to act. I want blood. And so he goes and kills innocent rat catchers because he needs to do something about this, you know? So, but they show him crying. Like he genuinely is sad about the loss of his son, and he doesn't know how to handle it. Like he I'm sure he's feeling the pressures of being king, and he's also trying to put forth this image, but he doesn't know how, and he's lashing out in different ways, and he's not mature enough to handle this position, which is why he needs somebody like Otto Hightower, not somebody like Kristen Cole. I can't wait, man. Kristen Cole is going to crumble, and I want to see that happen, man. I want to like. But Aegon is going to put faith in Kristen Cole, and Kristen Cole is not going to know how to handle it. He is not going to know how to handle this position. He doesn't know anything. I want to see what happens. But so Aegon is crying, and Alicent sees him, and for that moment, that dynamic between king and lady is not there anymore. It's son and mother. Like she's looking at him as not the king, but as her son. Like she feels sorry, like he's crying. But then she doesn't go over and hug him or console him or anything. That's your son, lady. Yeah, he's the king. and he's emotional. But come on, you gotta go kind of comfort your son. He just lost his son. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it for this episode. There were good things that happened in this episode, but to be honest, it was a bit slow in the beginning. You know, it took a while to get into it, and I feel like that's because the dynamics that were interesting, that were at least interesting to me, the most interesting to me in season 1, aren't at play yet as much in season 2. Like, I wrote some of them here. I'm an Aemon fan, so I got Aemon versus everybody. Aemon's interaction with everybody. Aemon's interaction with his cousins. Aemon's interaction with Daemon. Those are the standout moments of season 1 for me. You don't get that much in this season so far, right? And the other I wrote was Daemon versus Aemon. Aemon again. But you don't get that. You don't get that so far in this. Daemon versus Viserys, those interactions were fantastic in season 1. Obviously, we're not going to get that again in season 2. I wrote Rhaenyra versus Alicent at some points in season 1, but we're not getting that in season 2. So there hasn't been much, or if at all, of any of my favorite interactions of characters that were from season 1 carried over to season 2 yet. Hopefully, we'll get some of it moving forward with the season. But like I said, this episode did have some cool moments, and hopefully things pick up and things get even more interesting going forward in the season. But that's my thoughts for episode 2. I thought it was good. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.